as somebody who has conducted like
Murder?
no, uh, like professional level
Murder?
scientific experiments. No, um, I can tell you that sometimes you get more data in more meaningful ways from failing to prove your hypothesis than proving it correctly.
Oh, yeah, and I think generally your actually proper methodology is to try to prove your hypothesis wrong.
Yeah,
So
there's an entire section in when you're writing up your study that's supposed to be like, how have you tried proving it wrong?
Shady said no, murder is his job. His isn't Shady.
Yeah, I was gonna say murder is my hobby.
Do crimes still at stage? Yeah, like data.
Hobby as in Shady as well.
Hobby Lobby.
No, they're canceled.
That section of Hobby Lobby, the murder section.
No, that's actually in the Bed Bath and Beyond stores. It's in the Beyond section.
I always wonder if you're going to Joanne Fabrics.
No. It's definitely the Beyond section is actually murder.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't think of anything clever.
Fault in Our Stars. Cancer.
I stop making me reference something that I've zero knowledge on. And he had to retort to my argument wasn't lacking confidence in any way. No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Those were the words of a certain scientist I hold in the very highest esteem.
Who said that?
But you realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious position, don't you? Who says what?
No
I don't know.
scientist
Maybe Einstein or Aristotle or like Gandhi.
Actually, it's pronounced like
Jandy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other one is pronounced like Chipotle.
Aristotle.
Yeah.
Or Aristotle.
Aristotle. No scientist can what?
No scientist is trying to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth.
Is that what it is?
That's a different one. He's done two now.
No can find the truth.
More words of the same great scientist, you know.
Yeah. No.
Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is this scientist? I'm afraid I couldn't tell you, Mr. Naruto. But as soon as I remembered the magnificent genius's name, you'll be the first to know. It might be worth keeping the names of your idols to mind.
You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. This scatterbrain even forgets my name at times.
They might not be real quotes.
I mean, they sound like something Einstein would say. He said some quotes very similar.
So Lord Van Zieks really did have a friend once, but I didn't notice hell freezing over. Okay. Can't transport metal. Your hypothesis states it, so this isn't proven then. No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis, but a good one, based upon thousands of calculations. But it is widely known that metals can't be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course, so I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct. What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy? It's the whole reason that the birdcage is made of wood, you see. Sorry, the birdcage? Yes, that's what I call the C. obtusa cage, in which Mr. Asman is placed for the kinesis. The jail cell in which the victim was detained. It does indeed seem to be made of a timber of some sort. Thank you not to refer to as an instrument of incarceration, your lordship.
In short, any weapon lodged in the victim when he was beamed away by instantaneous kinesis would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal, correct?
Yes, that's it. Yes. It all fits perfectly with the mathematical model.
So any kind of tooth filling?
Organs that are made of metal?
Well, any kind of iron in your bloodstream.
Does it count as metal when it's at that state? I guess. But the ultimate conclusion, then, is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim, is it not?
You have to be very anemic to be teleported through instantaneous kinesis.
Indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this nightmare.
Maybe that's why we haven't invented it yet. Nobody's anemic enough to survive.
Fine, I'll invent people that don't have metal in their body.
Oh no! That's eugenics!
Okay, I'll invent Eugene that doesn't have metal in his body.
Fair enough. That's Eugene-enics.
Eugenics.
Eugenics. Eugenics is my favorite Japanese JRPG company.
You seem to be pleased by that.
I am.
Yes, another example of my hypothesis holding true.
I was really pleased by that. That was a good joke.
But I sense some sarcasm, Mr. Naruto. Are you not pleased? No. I knew it. At the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for Mr. Asmund losing his life. The advancement of science is no excuse, I know that. No, you're quite right. Delacroix, do you have a close relationship with Mr. Asmund? Oh, well no, not really. I mean, I only met him 2 or 3 times. And we only ever discussed my hypothesis in the project, in the research grant, of course.
For those of you who don't know us personally, that interaction was very evocative of Shad JV's and mine's friendship. You seem pleased. I am. You don't seem pleased. Oh, are you pleased? No.
You guys have to guess which one of us is which.
The answer may surprise you.
The answer is both.
Oh, don't give away the secret. That's not good clickbait.
Well, they already clicked with it at this point, so.
Oh, fair. So it is.
I want to be an honest clickbaiter that like at least gives them what they clicked for.
Yeah. Yeah. The title of this video could be "Who's the more annoying one?" The answer is both.
How did you come to know Mr. Asmund in the first place? A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published a little paper about my work. It's a scientific journal? Good gracious, I should need new spectacles.
Oh, that's so funny!
I meant to have had an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise, but at the same time, I had no money.
That's probably the funniest joke in this game!
I had to eat tiny little meals at a tiny little cafe and drink watered down water out of tiny little glass. Watered down water.
Oh no!
But Mr. Asmund read the paper and came to visit me at my tiny little laboratory.
Oh no!
It's all he can afford.
It's so little.
He's a PhD student. This is what he affords.
That's such a little. That's such a little book.
The shitty's a man on a budget.
Oh. And he offered you money to help fund your work.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Why? Oh god.
I handled the theoretical side of things, and Mr. Asmund provided me with an engineer for the practical. And the 3 of us produced that fantastical machine together.
Oh, that's such a funny joke.
I don't think he was joking.
I'm still reading about the little paper in the little book, in the little journal. Oh god.
Machine they brought to the great exhibition to demonstrate. Do you think the print's like normal size and it's just very short articles, or is it like tiny print?
I think it's minuscule print. I think it's like 6-point font.
I like to think that they were normal sized font, and it's just like you can just put one sentence. Yeah, that's all you can afford.
Yeah.
You better summarize it really well.
Space travel is possible. Nailed it.
No, that wasn't scientific jargon. Very limited space is not an excuse for not having barely readable jargon.
Fair. It needs to be very obtuse, and you need to have a degree to arbitrarily be able to understand it, because if otherwise, what's the point in higher education if not to serve as a barrier for other people to gain knowledge by making it so you need...
Okay, we're getting too real.
Oh, okay.
That could be a podcast.
Oh, I got lost there.
We had to apply to the government for some sort of inspection to be allowed to exhibit, I think.
I'm back. Hot goofs.
I don't understand all of that side of things. Mr. Esmond took care of all of it. He was a wonderful man. Really, I owe him everything. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. When you say that you built the machine together, does that mean that you were involved in its construction? Yes. Well, not exactly. I'm not good with the practical side of machines myself, so the physical construction was done by an engineer.
Life remains. Life remains. Little remains of your creation now, though. Following the explosion, repair will not be impossible.
Life remains.
Life remains.
Away. Life remains away.
Life remains away.
Yes, I realize that, but still. If someone were to gather all the broken parts, they could discover my secret and my hypothesis. But Mr. Asmund and I toiled over that machine for so long. We put our hearts and souls into it. I have to protect our work. So what's left of the machine must be kept safe. That's only fair, because what happened was an accident. That's the extent of the testimony, then. Thank goodness for that. Don't want him doing any more damage. He's already basically proven that he could have been the culprit. But it seems as though all he really cares about is defending his hypothesis. Still, I wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed? Okay. So, what?
Can I see the evidence?
No. No, yeah, one page.
Okay, go to the next one. Next one. Okay, next. Okay, next. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Now let me see the statements. Next statement. Next statement. Mm-hmm. Next statement. Next statement. Okay, go back to the second statement. Second statement.
Oops, too many.
Feel free to save if you want. But
absolutely, because I don't trust you. JK.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Present the picture, because
which
he's wearing
picture?
glasses.
This one?
No, the picture of
this
him.
One? This one?
That one. He's wearing glasses. They have metal in them.
Not all glasses have metal in them. Professor Harebrayne, you say that according to your hypothesis. Like, maybe the frames are made out of diamond. Nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made.
So I was right?
Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct.
Oh!
In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph. That was taken at the scene.
You don't even have to say a joke. The joke has already been made.
In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that Mr. Asmund has green hair, is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. He has green hair in this image, come on!
He does have green hair.
What? Metal? No, metal can't, that's not... Metal! No!
Screw the rules, I have green hair. Teleports with metal.
We've already established the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, is found on the stage.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged joke.
Okay, I've never watched Abridged. Only
Oh.
Unabridged. But I know they stabbed the moon in the Unabridged.
They do. They do stab the moon.
It is the best moment of the entire anime. And I wish you
You
could
know-
do that in the games.
Yeah.
However, if Hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should also have predicted that the metal-rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place. Ah! My hypothesis! My hypothesis! Professor Hairbrain, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Wrong! Order! Counsel, what's the implication of this? If in the day in question the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, it is entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than on the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit.
Something other than the defendant.
But my hypothesis is sound! I proved it that day! The experiment was a success! The experiment was proof of all my work!
If I could say something here, in my capacity as a fellow of the society.
Yes, juror number 4, go ahead.
As a man of science, there's one thing I cannot possibly abide. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science.
What? Wait! Great Scott! I suggested my science is suspect!
His name is Great Scott. It's just been disproved, hasn't it? In front of all of us.
I just love this this animation because every time it changes to a different color, and I've watched it for a while, the order is random.
Oh.
It's not a looping animation. It just randomly changes to a different color every time.
Why'd they go through so much trouble to do such a unique animation?
I mean, probably not that hard. It's a matter of just like just picking a random color for it to gradient into. But still, it's just interesting to me.
You know game design. Know how it be.
Yeah, no, it's relatively simple, but it also usually they loop everything in these animations. So
Yeah. Do they loop between the set colors, or is it like literally?
no, that's what I mean.
Like
The color, order of the colors is random. It's just
the order of the colors is random, but the colors it could be is finite, right? It's not like a random color on the decimal.
I mean,
number.
there's not infinite colors in existence, but no, I don't think there's like multiple shades of red or anything. Like,
Yeah. It's like probably like 6 or 7 different colors it could be. It's just it's random, which is going to turn into.
yeah,
In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from start to finish.
Shady says the alchemist.
Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud.
Wait, they had heels back then?
This is when heels were invented, and
He invented it just now.
changed forever.
I say the wreckage of this machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined. No, never! The machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis! It is protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act! What the devil is that blessed act all about, eh? Oh, that's not the voice, is it? What the devil is that blessed act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule? I like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? What do you think is the best way for you to help the professor?
I mean, I want to do the funny one first,
What's the funny one?
to wait and see, I think.
You want to wait and see?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be funny, but maybe I should watch and wait for the time being. My feelings is that the machine requires a thorough examination.
But what about this special dispensation that was mentioned? Oh gosh, this is all too much.
If it's determined that the machine itself was a murder weapon, I think you'll find that to apply.
Of course it was a murder weapon. Anyone can see that plain as day. So we're all in agreement, are we? The machine should be stripped. If I don't do something, they'll...
Oh, poopy.
Professor Herbert has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so...
Even so, what?
Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection!
He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money.
Ah,
If the government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed.
conspirators?
What would be the value of the grant? £10?
£10, yeah, a £10 grant.
You're an order of magnitude out, madam. £500 a year. Oh, you can give handsomely that much for a year. The Society noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently.
I like the implication that this girl must be carrying like an entire, like, I don't know, sack of corn.
What's the most implausible way to carry corn? A decanter. Think decanter.
Like a water sack or whatever, or water,
A water skin?
yeah, like a water skin.
Yeah.
Rubber band.
Rubber band.
One rubber band.
She used one rubber band too. It's she gets her corn from the same place that Gregson gets his fish and chips.
And plenty of scientists argue to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
No. I haven't deceived anyone. Least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound. The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection!
Objection. No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success.
Ah, Baruch.
And therefore, the only person who could possibly have committed a murder is the accused.
Ah, Baruch. Where is this heading? I have no idea.
My lord, if I may.
Yes, Lord Von Zieks.
The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand.
New witnesses? What would be the nature of their involvement?
They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibition, were occupying special seats.
Eyewitnesses? Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from witnesses to the incident.
Prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was no pastiche. The accused killer, the financier victim there. The accused killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectator. Now, my learned friend,
Oh, yes?
it's time for you to make your own stance clear.
There's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. But where does that leave me? We shall take a short recess now, during which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand.
As you wish, my lord.
Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
How does he decide when it's 20 minutes and when it's 30 minutes? And like,
I think he makes the rules.
but like, what makes him choose those numbers? Just a whim?
I think whether he needs to go number 1 or number 2.
Or number 3.
Oh, it's a secret potty break.
Number 0.
No, you can't potty break by 0. It destroys the fabric of reality.
No, just the fabric of the toilet.
It's instantaneous kinesis. Your bowel is just instantaneously transfer waste material.
I mean, that sounds convenient.
Oh, gosh. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
Do you get to pick where it's getting transported, or is it just random?
I think it's random. Unless you could calculate most. Well, I guess it depends on how it works. But I would say it's random.
Just random anywhere in the universe.
Yeah, anywhere in the universe, your waste material.
I'd feel good about those odds because the amount of points that are on Earth compared to the rest of the universe is pretty ridiculously small.
Well, yeah, but you're also saying that there's over 3 trillion different beings who are spontaneously like.
Yeah, but the universe is like over 10,000 light years in diameter.
No, sure. I'm saying, while statistically improbable, there would be a point in time where someone's poop is going to like spontaneously appear in your mouth.
I don't think that statistically would happen. The universe is pretty big and still expanding.
I mean, it's gonna have to with other.
Mr. Naruto, what on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis, my amazing hypothesis. You were picking holes in it from the start. Ah, sorry about that. But you promised me. You said you'd prove the dreaded explosion was an accident, not murder. You said to keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands. But all you've done so far is try to undermine me. Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there? But if I just run through some equations. Yes, you see, because my work is incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he? Oh. Oh, no! You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. And I have no right to blame you for my failures.
This is a new
disaster.
song.
What?
This is a new song.
I'm a disaster, not just as a scientist, but as a human being. Well, that might be a little over the top. And while we're on the subject, what about Baroque? He's being awful. Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? Oh no, claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean?
Ridowski, that's not polite.
He's a disaster, not just a prosecutor, but as a human being.
No, he's a disaster, but not as a prosecutor, but as a human being.
Oh, but no, wait, he's the Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as Homo sapiens anymore. Glad that's cleared up.
I don't even know what just happened. What do you mean that's cleared up?
Can I double check something with you? Yes, what? The machine and demonstration you prepared, they were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume. There was no trickery involved. I drew the plans for the machine with my own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hadn't reached maturity yet. But please, Mr. Naruto, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor. Understand.
Answer that question.
Kinda did. Council Bailiff, comes to defendant, bailiff, me.
The Von Ziek witnesses are ready to take the Von Zieks.
The prosecution witness is ready to take the stand. Court is about to session again. Make your way to the
What
courtroom,
is going
please.
on with you?
I'm voicing like 40 people today. Give me a break.
You're gooping it up.
You voiced like one person today, so
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't voice very many characters these days, but
it all hinges on this demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is as sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. Mr. Sholmes was adamant. And Iris was
Irida?
Irida.
No! No!
It fits!
It fits! Time and space! Ah! Spontaneous kinesis! Ah! Practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible.
So really, what should I be trying to prove here?
Have you finished Legends yet?
Not yet, and I would say where I am, but it's a very spoilery part. But I think I'm really close to the end.
Oh, cool. So, you had it. Are you at the part where you had two options?
I got past that last night.
What option did you pick?
I don't want to spoil what the options are for anybody's not what.
Oh, fair.
Played.
Did you pick option 1 or 2? I remember what options were.
I don't remember what order they were in.
Oh, fair enough. We'll talk about it later. Because I want to replay the game just to pick the other option.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify?
The prosecution is ready, my lord.
As is the defense, my lord. So, Lord Von Zieks, I believe these neck witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes.
Indeed, they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. So the testimony we're about to hear can be considered highly reliable.
Perfect, a detective of all people.
I wonder if it's a character that I said I would never voice again.
The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual to have been present on the stage at the time of the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The prosecution position is clear. So, bring forth their witnesses now.
Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the to hear.
My name is Balthazar Loon. Okay, it's a name?
I know what it is, and it's upsetting me so much that I have to say it.
You have to say it for anybody that doesn't get it.
It's Balloon.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm surprised you got it. I didn't get it right off the bat because the Thaz are in there.
Yeah.
But the rest of the name I don't think means anything, as far as I can tell.
Balloon. What?
Also, it took me a little while into the case to realize there's a flame in his hat.
Oh, I saw the little animation.
I am the impresario of the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage.
It's very Italian.
My name is Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund Ormstein. Okay.
Gosh. Ah! Ah! Okay, so those of you who don't know, I'm actually fluent in German. So Wilhelm Gottfried, so that's how you pronounce that. Don't question it. But no, I think he's going to go by Gods.
Wait. I didn't mean to click. I've come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
Bohemia is modern day Turkey.
Yeah,
You know
but
that.
anything else to say about the name?
Oh, I mean, I don't truly know. Is it just like a combination of like Russian scientists?
No, it's a character from Sherlock Holmes' short story, A Scandal in Bohemia.
Let me mute while I scream into the earth.
I'm very rich.
Wait, what?
What?
What, he just needed to add that?
I've come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
I'm very rich.
He bought a balloon, and they said, "I'm very rich."
So funny. I actually like A Scandal in Bohemia quite a lot. It's one of my favorites. Sherlock Holmes.
You didn't recognize the name.
I didn't. It's a boo boo on my part, but it's been so long since I've read them.
Well, Miss Gina.
Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a detective. Even Sherlock Holmes agrees.
A great detective, she said. But
I'm a great detective.
he's 11. And it just calls him Bohemian Boy in the court record, even though he has a name.
Bohemian Boy, wherever you are. I'm a great detective, even Sherlock Holmes agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up on one of them balloons. It was amazing.
Gina, again.
That's how I feel.
She did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it.
There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage where the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw the events unfold from the skies above.
You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was on the altitude of circa 60 feet. Very low.
You know who would play this character if there was a live action movie?
Don't even say it.
You know who'd play this character if it was a live action movie?
Don't say that one either.
Do you actually know? Please tell me you actually know. Oh my gosh, please.
Tom Holland?
Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew. It would have been my brain couldn't handle if it were that in sync. That's okay. I was gonna say Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, my next guess was gonna be Zendaya, so.
No! It was. Well, you can't see nothing.
Shady, don't say that name here.
What did he say?
The name you were thinking of. For the first
Did
one.
he really?
For the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can you?
60 feet. About 18 meters, then. Thank you for introduction. Now, you give me your formal testimony for the court.
What about?
Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point from above the stage.
Are the voices for this case like proportionate? Because like I feel like
Yes.
you're voicing a lot.
You voiced a lot outside of the thing.
Oh, fair enough.
It was an incident terrible. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged.
I'll have you know that I think your Italian.
Italian accent's horrible. Don't even.
I think your Italian accent is better than the person who would play this character in the live action version of this game.
Well, that's not hard, but it's still pretty awful.
There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second, another bang in the sky beside us.
And from amid the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage it fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower.
I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went anywhere after it crashed into the tower. She stole that money from Chattery, actually. Check your wallet.
A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. Could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions.
More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. Have you heard of Nightcrawler?
Bamf.
Bamf, bamf. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Then, as the power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called bird cage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. The bird cage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower.
I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide.
I'm very rich.
I still have lots of money.
Ah!
Precisely, who is this curious infant?
Oh,
Infant, he's 11!
I kinda like him.
I'm told he's a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the Great Exhibition.
Yeah, I'm here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school.
I would have hoped he has private tutors, but I mean, I guess he's not that rich.
He's just a prince.
Yeah, but he keeps saying how rich and how much money he has.
Maybe it's a private elementary school.
They built an entire school just for him while he is rich.
Just for Bohemian princes.
You would not believe the foods in the cafeteria. It is terrible. Only caviar? No, I wish to have more. She's a little French, I guess.
Only 4 types of caviar?
There you go. Thank you for fixing my joke. I appreciate you.
We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony.
Do you really need that? When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. Yes, I see a delightful face, I'm sure.
And when I wear my mask, this is how I look like.
Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise, then.
Oh. Shady, can you please create a D&D character that thinks that they're in costume all the time? but it's just like
specifically name Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund von Ormstein.
Oh, that'd be a little too much. I don't think my heart could take it. But it'd be so funny if they thought that they were like a master of disguise and they were just like putting very like
Shady said I'd be done in 2 minutes.
The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell.
Von Six was like, and the silly music.
Therefore, only the accused who was Mr. Asmund on the stage could possibly have committed the murder.
Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views in the matter are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord.
Puts on a different shirt.
Nobody will know who I am.
It's like you didn't even cover your face.
Master of the sky.
It was an incident terribly. There were 3 balloons flying with the experimentation stage at the time, I understand. Si. All 3 of them, my bellissimi bambini.
My beautiful babies.
They're very popular, signor. Some people would pay £10 for one ride. £10? That's more than my annual stipend.
Yikes.
£20 a month. That is my pocket money.
He is very rich.
Girls have all the luck.
I got up there for free. I did play the old I work for Her Majesty's Police card, you know.
Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though? Because if I have too many in the skies, they could crash into each other.
The operators for the balloon were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area.
C. And the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impressiors, they hate me. Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements for balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps we could hear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident.
Right? I can tell you in there, my lord.
Shouldn't we hear individually what each one of them witnessed?
Right.
Instead of assuming they all witnessed like parts of the same thing, of like one cohesive thing, because that's not how witnesses work. So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air?
Yep. Ain't it amazing what the detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, although being a lawyer is a mug's game, you should join the force and we can go on flying together.
You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think?
Everything. We saw everything because we were up above it all. That dodgy cove climbing into that cage and that dodgy professor pulling all the levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was a massive bang and the cage disappeared, just like that.
You are describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe.
I didn't know what to make of it. But then there was another bang right in my ear. I looked around and there was a huge fireball right next to us in the sky. And there was nothing there before.
Excuse me.
I was just thinking about how rich I am.
Mr. Gatz, does your memory of the day differ? Me and teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Yes, what was it again? William Gottschalk Sigismund Ormstein! Just the 4 names, then? The point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps?
Oh, get it right, Otto. It's Inspector Lestrade.
Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? That is not what I saw. Oh? Yeah, there was a second explosion. It was right beside our balloon. That is true. But I'm sure...
Which is what I said, didn't it? 1 minute there was nothing there, then a massive explosion.
Mean teacher at elementary school said that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most awful life imaginable. Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? So many balloons at the top of this courtroom.
Yeah.
Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky.
Gina's definitely stealing money
green
from
balloon.
this kid every time he goes to buy a new one. You what? I never saw nothing like that.
Well, I did. I saw it, and you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am Bohemian Prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed.
Yeah, I like him. I like him so much. He's such a little. He's such a little punk.
He's a little spoiled brat.
He's such a brat. I would hate him in real life, but I love him as a character because he's just so obnoxious. Playing the bleeding royalty card, typical.
I mean, it's giving me D&D ideas now.
You're gonna play a little spoiled brat.
Little spoiled child. This is the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interests of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia, which will definitely exist hundreds of years from now. A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that? Of course I am sure. I am a proud Bohemian Prince. All these questions are making me boring. I think you mean bored.
Oh no.
Ah, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior.
Also, Renosuke, you would know as somebody who literally is learning English.
No, he's an English student. Like he's good at English.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying as somebody who's learning, who chooses a life of like second language acquisition, like overly correcting, or even sometimes correcting at all, can be very detrimental to the learning process.
Ragazzo, it is very wrong to lie. What?
That means boy.
That means ragamuffin. Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is logical. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. Madai. I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Here you are, Your Highness. Only all international incidents were so easily resolved.
Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Loon?
No. I did not see the explosion myself. However, the cage, it fell from the sky like a stone. Did you see that actually happen? No. In reality, I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what had happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. Suppose they are his livelihood. But when I looked up to the sky, all my precious balloons were still there.
I saw it though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I'm a detective now.
Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade.
That's what I like to hear.
Was it you who gave the order to keep people away?
Use your head, Odo. How would have been? How could it have been me? I was in a balloon, weren't I?
Right.
It's because I went available. It was the boss who had to leg it over there. He was getting shoved and kicked all over by the panic inspector as he tried to seal off the scene. It's a real sight to behold, I can tell you. Amazing.
Well, Inspector Gregson.
So anyway, I couldn't see the cage that well because of all the smoke. And I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out of me wits.
Keep it together, Inspector.
Womp, womp, womp.
The prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. But what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. Okay.
Okay. So, next statement. Next statement. Okay, this one.
This one?
Yeah, let's see the evidence. Okay, cool.
Let me see.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you can say it, but I just wanted to see the evidence. Okay, next one. Huh. So go back. Present the green chart thing.
This?
Yeah. Not the right place.
The defense would like to object to the last statement, my lord.
And I would have to overrule your objection, counsel.
Well, that wasn't even funny.
The defense would have to accept the penalty given.
Glad to hear it. And you would also have to think again.
What do you mean that wasn't funny?
I guess so.
It was just the joke at the end instead of at the start.
Yeah, fair enough. It was backloaded. Well, that's like, I think that's what we have to do anyway. So I think it's that green. We have to prove that what Gotts saw could be real. So go back.
Go back.
Is it here that we present the green burlap?
I don't know, is it?
Makes sense. No. What's my train of thought supposed to be? What am I looking at?
I don't know what you're asking me to...
Let me look at the items again. Can I see a picture of the newspaper? No, that's not relevant. Okay. So, okay, go back to the statements. Next. Okay, let me see all the statements again. Go that one.
Oh, do you
and
want to go to
then-
the first one?
No, the fifth one.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Oh.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-da.
I think it's quicker to just load than to have him.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think good look at the cage, but no one went near after it crashed into the tower. So I'm thinking I could either contradict this statement that no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. Or I can contradict the statement that was added, which is the most logical statement about the kid asserting that it was a green balloon that was next to ours at the time.
Okay, are you asking anything or thinking aloud?
I'm thinking out loud. I'm still thinking this is the one, because it'd be weird for there to be a new statement added that's not the one that we need to pursue, right? Is that logical? Like, I'm asking that question.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it isn't the one you added. Sometimes you just need information you got out of it.
Okay, so if that's the case, I might just be barking upon the tree in the wrong way anyways. Back to the first statement then. Could it be that one?
I mean,
The balloons were not
could.
damaged?
It could be.
Present the green
Might
burlap.
not.
I guess, yeah. Present the green cloth.
It's not a present.
Well, I guess so.
Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all three of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terribly. I wonder if you might know what this is. Ah, I think it may be... See, part of a balloon, a burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope.
Even in Italy, they pronounce it right.
Sorry, the envelope. Pardon, that is the large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from the very thick fabric lined with rubber. You don't want it to rip when you are up in the sky. Just as I thought. This piece of cloth is found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. No!
The balloon exploded that day. Didn't the man say so?
Maybe everyone on board was killed.
Oh no, having to spend 10 whole pounds for the experience, how awful!
Seems to be like the crash would cost 50% of the time anyway.
The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon.
Causing the balloon to explode.
Everything okay?
I'm not here.
You've been frozen on my side of the screen for a while, so if there's any visual,
Oh.
like, I'm missing it.
I was hiding. Because I don't know why I'm frozen on yours.
What?
Here, maybe that fixed it on yours.
Well, I don't think it. Oh, I think you're. Yeah, there you are. Wait, what was the joke? Why were you hiding?
Because I did the wrong voice.
Caused the balloon to explode. Yes, eminently plausible.
I did Inosuke's voice when I was the judge.
Oh. That's a funny.
The unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts.
This I cannot accept. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar.
What
Oh, that's a better way to like see the hat. Now you can see that the hat
is
actually is like
pulsating?
hollow. Yeah, and it's actually a balloon. Like in the other angle, it kind of looks like it's just like a design. Now I can
I
actually.
don't know. It's
see
really
that
bulging right now. So
That a person has died in a balloon incident.
There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day.
That's right, and I prove it. But there's a loon is not a liar. There was no such balloon in the sky. It is non possible. You're saying it's impossible. Why?
This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day.
Aye! We can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have been known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon.
I concur. There's clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you're operating at the exhibition.
Ah, grazie, my lord.